Welcome back, YouTube. This is COZUNO Win Kazano back with.
Dun 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 dun
I thought you were saying
dun 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 dun. Billy.
That's the short version is Billy.
Exactly.
And today we're going to be talking about. I mentioned this in Compa Catches actually the response video we did for him.
I don't remember that.
When I was talking about Secret of Mana, and I said this is possibly like one of the two most epic games I played for Super Nintendo when we first started owning it. The only other one was The Legend of Zelda.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So we actually got the Super Nintendo late. We didn't own it when everyone else owned it. We actually got it a couple years before about a year before the PlayStation dropped.
Yeah.
And so we didn't get the Super Mario World. We wanted to get the Super Nintendo that had The Legend of Zelda. And that's what we got. And it did not disappoint. I mean, man, this game is so awesome. And the color scheme and everything just worked really well with it. And after coming from because we kind of upgraded all at the same time, because we used to play the Nintendo on the black and white TV. Then we got the Super Nintendo, and we got like the old TV in the living room because my mom and dad bought a new one. And so we had a brand new color TV, not really brand new, but we had the color TV and a brand new Super Nintendo in the room. And this game was just so awesome, so epic. We all just played it ridiculously crazy. I remember myself just trying to collect everything, like trying to find all the pieces of the heart so I can max out my life was just like a task in itself.
Yes,
but I love this game so much.
I love this game too.
We played it religiously, and this was like one of the few games that when we started to like I mentioned in a before episode, when we take a couple games and trade it in with a couple bucks at a cheap pawn shop, this was one of the only games that we didn't trade away.
Fuck that shit. This shit's not getting traded.
What is some of your earlier memories with the Zelda Link to the Past?
What my very first memory with this game, maybe my strongest memory, is that first scene where Zelda is talking telepathically to your character.
Right when you're in bed.
Inside your head, and you wake up and your uncle comes to talk to you, tells you to stay in the house, and he leaves. Then of course you, being the rebellious little, I guess he was a teenager back then, the rebellious little teenager that he was, he leaves anyway. And it's just that first scene with, rain coming down,
yeah,
and you're searching for a way into the castle, and then you find it, and then you drop into the sewers, and you find your uncle there dying. You take his sword, and you take on the quest. That's my strongest memory of this game. Well, actually, maybe that's not true. Maybe that's not my strongest memory. My strongest memory would have to be the Master Sword.
When you finally come up after that maze of fields or whatever.
And the birds are just, the birds and animals, they're all like, flying about in crap. That was just... I'm sorry to say this, it was magical. It was magical, people. It was just... And then you walk up to the sword, just draw and you hold it up high. Da 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 da. Exactly. Awesome.
The thing I remember most about this game was where I thought I almost had the game beat because I didn't realize there was a dark side. And I'm going through all the dungeons, doing the dungeon crawling thing, and I'm getting there, and I'm like, man, I almost got this game beat. It's too bad because I really love this game, and I was nowhere near the amount of hearts I needed. So I was like, I don't know where to find them. And then all of a sudden, you find out there's the dark side, and then there's so much more to explore and more dungeons to beat. I mean, this game was so awesome. Even when I thought I had beaten it, I wasn't even close.
The game is truly epic and awesome in all regards. The dungeon I remember in particular is the ice dungeon. I remember being annoyed by that dungeon a lot. I remember slipping and sliding everywhere, and always getting hit by little spikes that were on the walls.
Yeah.
That shit was annoying.
I think the most annoying thing for me was in the little worm guy, like the electric worm guy, where you had the only way you can hit him was by charging your sword, then hitting I think his tail, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like if you didn't hit it right, you know,
oh yeah,
it would ricochet you, and there's holes all over the room, so you would just fall down, and you'd have to work your way all the way back up just to try to beat him again. But even that I found, even though that was my most annoying memory from The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, I still had a lot of fun with that one.
Something I really remember in this game is when you attack chickens. When you hit a chicken repeatedly, a whole flock of chickens, if chickens can be a flock, just start ganking your ass. You know, they just start jumping you.
Yeah, and they don't stop until you leave the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how many times I did that. I used to like fuck around with them, and then like get them close, like in a corner somewhere near the end of a screen, and just start wailing away on them. And then when all his little chicken friends would come, I'd go to the next screen over. So I was like getting my, you know, I was beating the shit out of the chicken and then not taking the punishment, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Have you ever been killed by the chickens?
Probably. I don't remember, but probably. Probably, man.
That's not awesome.
That's epic. An epic failure. Do you remember when there was this fast little fucker who wanted to race you, and he'd be so much more faster than you until you got your speed boots, and then you would race.
Was he that little elf-looking guy?
Yeah, and then they were all elves.
Oh yeah.
But you would race him, and then when you get your speed boots, you can actually beat him, and he would give you something. I just don't remember what that something was.
Because I remember the kid. I remember what you're talking about. I don't remember what he gave you either, though. It's been
For ages.
Ages since I played this, and I really need to go back and replay it. But I have a lot of games that fall in that category.
Yeah, I actually I replayed this a couple of years ago. About maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I got to the ice dungeon, and then I quit because I couldn't get past it. I mean, with enough patience, I could have, but I just didn't feel like, you know, toughing it out, so I just pretty much quit. Anything else you remember about this game?
Not really. I think we covered pretty much everything.
I remember that Ganon was vulnerable to those silver arrows, and you would shoot a silver arrow at him, and it would make him vulnerable to being attacked. And I mean, a lot of people might think that, oh well, yeah, that's normal, that's okay, but that just sticks out in my mind, you know. I just thought that was interesting. I remember those rods that you used to find in those spells, but like the fire rod and the ice rod, and especially those spells where it used to like just wreak havoc around everything around you. It was good times. It was just fun.
To go back to the silver arrow thing, I remember getting to Ganon with all my silver arrows and being pissed because you only go there with a certain amount, and then I'd shoot at him, and then he would move or disappear or whatever he would do, and I'd be, oh fuck, I lost another one. That's what I remember about the silver arrows. Fuck Ganon.
Fuck Ganon, that stupid piece of shit.
Anyway, we're going to wrap this one up. I want to say thanks for viewing. Go ahead and leave a comment, rate, subscribe. And then, till next time, stay up and game on.
See ya, YouTube.
Can I smell my armpits through the computer?
Yes. They will judge you. It's a date.